What's going on, guys? Welcome back to W.D.Y.D. CSP. What do you do as a central sterile processor? And guys, today I want to talk about insulated instruments. Guys, in the past when we thought about insulated instruments, most of us, automatically the thought process was laparoscopic instruments. Okay, and before our amendments came out for Amy, I believe that a lot of places were and were not testing laparoscopic instruments. I worked at a facility that we've always tested laparoscopic instruments, and I worked at a major facility that never tested laparoscopic instruments until later on in my career. But the amendment came out recently talking about testing insulated instruments, okay? When we think about insulated instruments, laparoscopic instruments are usually the first thing that pops in our mind. But what about those forceps? Okay? Now, I've seen many people when this amendment came out, they test every laparoscopic instrument, but they don't test the forceps. And when I ask them, hey, did you test that forceps? And they look at me and they go, well, no, why would I test that? Because it's insulated and we need to test all insulated instruments. So that goes for forceps, all your LEAP procedure GYN instruments, those grave speculums, those tenaculums, those endometrial graspers, the weighted speculums, all that needs to be tested. I've even seen some eye instruments that are insulated at the end. I've seen a Desmar lid retractor using a bleph tray that has insulation at the end. That needs to be insulated tested. So how do we conduct insulation testing? Well, there's several different testers out there. I have my little Frankenstein McGain one that I put back together with some careful YouTube videos to show me how to wire stuff back together, and a couple screws that I got from Home Depot, but it works, and it works like a charm. But let me show you some of the different attachments here, guys. So this is the one I'm going to use for the forceps and odd-shaped instruments, all right? So you want to make sure that these little hairs are not fraying and falling all over the place, all right? So you want to keep that brush nice and stiff. This is the one that people are most common with. This is where you're going to throw your laparoscopic instruments through. So you basically ride your instrument through there, wherever cannula is the right size, and you just draw your instrument through until you hear any beeping or anything like that. Then you have an attachment such as this, okay? Same thing. You place it on the top. You can throw your instruments through and get a nice little tight grip on it to get that reading. But let me show you. Guys, in the bottom is a green attachment where the green cord goes on. That is your grounding cable that should have an alligator clip on it. All right, and then your brush goes into the red. The red is the hot zone. So there are positive and negatives about this thing. Positive is I don't have to hold the button to test. I can just kind of freehand it. I have to hold it with this hand to test. The negative that I have on this one is that you can adjust the voltage on this thing. All right, and you have to consult your IFUs for the voltage on it. I've never read an IFU for this. I'm going to be honest. I've never seen the IFU, but every place I've ever worked at has this set at 1. And that's the sensitivity. Lower or higher makes it more sensitive. Careful with how high you set the voltage on it, because it will shock you guys. So when using one of these testers, I do suggest that you wear a glove, okay? I have this set at 1 kilovolt. So the way you do this is you take one end, okay? The non-working end is where you put your ground at, okay? So your little alligator clip is on there. So with your gloved hand, or I'm gonna do this barehanded because I don't have any gloves, is you hold the instrument steady, okay? Your brush to test or verify that the tester works is touch the metal end to it, okay? It means you have a good ground to it, and that is a positive audible on it, okay? So you wanna run your brush along the insulation. See that? Hear that? That's a fail. Okay, hear that? That's a fail. Okay, you want to go along the other side here. Come on through, that's good. Okay, metal tip. Then you want to go in between the instrument. Hear that? That's a fail. All right, hear that? That's a fail, guys. All right. This instrument has failed insulation testing. Okay. Why? Okay. Just because I'm just using the distal tip here, when the surgeon uses this instrument, okay, he's using it with his thumb and his finger on the thumb press here, right? This is one of the points where it failed at. If he has a pinhole in his glove, he's gonna get burnt, okay? Because they're not using low voltage. They're using higher voltage to cauterize and dissect, okay? But this is a cautery, for bleeders or, for neurostimulation, whatever they're gonna use this for, but they use higher voltage. He's gonna get shocked if he has a pinhole in his glove, all right? This is the most common insulated forceps out there. This is called the blue burner. So this, very simple, the non-working end, clip your alligator clip onto it, okay? Hold it steady. Again, use a gloved hand, guys. I suggest you use a gloved hand. Verify that the instrument, that the tester that works, and run it along the insulation, okay? Very firmly, one side, other side, and then in between, okay? If it does not beep as this one did, your insulation is intact, and this is a good instrument. And you should be testing these every single time they come through. All insulated instruments shall be tested upon use, guys. Every time it comes into your department, you should be testing these, guys. I hope this answered some questions, showed you something new, taught you something new. If you have any further questions, hit me up. Guys, as always, stay true to yourselves, keep it 100, and peace.